My dearest brothers and sisters, this is Tunia speaking. I love you so very much. I keep being impressed by how much you are able to remain good-hearted, despite all the darkness all around you. When I land on your world, I will make sure that I have a hat with me, so that I can take it off for you. Today I would like to offer a message of compassion. As you know, love is the strongest force in the universe. And compassion is one beautiful form of love. I would like to invite you to be compassionate to yourself. Very few beings have even been allowed to be born on Earth at all, because being on Earth is so tough right now. If you were born there, then you have been accepted into the 3D school with the toughest entrance requirements in this entire galaxy. I use 3D here to indicate the average Earthling level of consciousness. And if you are tuning into this message, then from my point of view you are not just attending the toughest school, but you are excelling there. You have become a light in the darkness, which is an unbelievable achievement. So if you are sitting a bit more behind your screen than you think you should, or eating or drinking something that you think you should not, then I would like to invite you to have compassion for yourself. If you are on Earth right now and also awake enough to tune into these messages, then you are doing exceptionally well. You have all my love and respect. Furthermore, I would like to invite you to have compassion for those people who still fully believe the narrative from the mainstream media. To be clear, from my perspective, the mainstream media has been spreading some huge lies and I do not recommend watching them. Some of you think of those who still follow the mainstream media as stupid, or slow, or cowardly, or as sheep, or as NPCs. I completely understand that it is frustrating to know that the mainstream media is lying, while the people around you still believe it. I understand that it is not fair that other people may call you crazy, while in fact you may be right, and they may be wrong. I also understand that this can be alienating. That said, if you are exceptional students for the toughest 3D school of the galaxy, then they are average students in the toughest 3D school of the galaxy. That does not make them stupid. It just makes them not quite as exceptional as those Earthlings who are awake right now. Frankly, if I was born on Earth in the normal way, I think I would probably be metaphorically asleep right now. This is not false modesty on my part. It is simply easy to be loving if you have all your needs met and you are raised in an unconditionally loving environment. Therefore, I genuinely think that Earthling lightworkers are much more impressive than I am. It is almost unreasonable to expect someone who is born in the darkness, who is not given unconditional love and who is fed inverted information all their lives, to then wake up and become a light in the darkness. It is all the more special that you have accomplished this, but that does not make the current sleepers stupid. They are simply average students in the toughest 3D school in the galaxy. Also, some of the current sleepers have souls that want them to be asleep right now because certain lessons or experiences can best be learned by being asleep at this time. Finally, I would like to invite you to have compassion for the dark controllers, who are trying to run the world from behind the scenes, although their control is slipping. These are demons, hostile extraterrestrials, and their Earthling minions. Yes, often these people or beings commit unspeakably evil acts. I'm not just talking about things like murder, awful as that is. I'm talking about acts so evil and vile that if I told you what they were, you would not forget that for the rest of your life. That said, I would still like to invite you to have compassion for them. First of all, this is smart for pragmatic reasons. These beings actually feed off your negative emotions. So if you hate them or fear them, you strengthen them. Meanwhile, if you can feel love or compassion for them, you weaken them. Angels and other positive beings work the other way around. Angels are slightly strengthened if you feel love for them, and weakened if you hate them or fear them. Second, I would like to invite you to have compassion for them because they are still divine fractals of Source. I only suggest condemning their actions, not them. In general, I always suggest at most condemning actions, and never people themselves. And third, often these beings have suffered and possibly are suffering terribly themselves. Many of them have had awful childhoods, filled with suffering and sorrow. Beings usually only start committing evil acts if they experienced much pain or fear themselves, or if they lack love. You can see any action that is not loving as an unconscious cry for help. And the appropriate response is always love, plus sometimes making sure that while you're loving them you're also stopping them from harming others. But still, Evil acts are an unconscious cry for help, and the correct response is love. How much did these beings suffer, that they now seek to control and hurt billions of beautiful earthlings? Of course, do protect yourself from these beings. If you are in the military or police, do consider arresting these beings so that they can no longer hurt people. But it is also good to realize that while we should make sure they cannot hurt others anymore, they themselves have probably also been hurt terribly themselves. It is hurt people who hurt people. That said, it is critical to be authentic. If your authentic truth is that you do not feel compassion for the dark controllers, then it is not psychologically healthy to pretend that you do, or to try and force yourself to feel compassion for them. You are good just the way you are. In all cases, I love you so very much. I love you always. Tunia.